Good morning from Poplar Bluff. Good morning from Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Larry.
Hey, shall we mute everybody?
You're muted now, Sunshower.
You're muted.
Good morning, everybody. August 12th, 2024. Your host, Sunshower Rose, coming to you from the environs of Sedona, Arizona. Welcoming you to our Monday morning miracle call. This is a fabulous call, goes about a half hour. And we'd like to welcome all the newcomers. If we've never seen you before, welcome, especially to you and to all our LifeWave family. So in the first several minutes, about 15 minutes of this call, we will dedicate it to the star of the show, X39 only. And after that, we can bring in other patches and tell of our experiences. So that's what this is all about. This whole thing seems like a whole miracle. You know, us wearing our patches daily and having these fabulous results, you know, some people just can't even believe it. Kind of have to experience it for yourself, right? So a disclaimer is that we do not intend to treat or diagnose or cure any disease. So with that in mind, we do not name disease names, only symptoms, please. So we'd love for you to raise your hand, and that's done through the little icon at the bottom of your screen. It says raise hand, and just raise your hand and then I'll call on you in the order that I see your name and your happy face. So, and then when you're talking, then please go ahead and leave that hand up. And then when you're done, you can mute yourself again and put your hand down. So we'd like to be courteous to all the people that are going to speak, and you can start raising your hands. I want to see how many of you have things to tell us this morning. So once you're done, just go ahead and bring the hand down, mute yourself. Please try and be courteous and keep your stories from 30 to 60 seconds. Okay, here we go on this Monday morning miracle call. Glenda.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I definitely have an X39 story. So my husband and I have been on the patch. We're starting our third month, but we got started on the patch because my husband tried one and got immediate relief from pain that he deals with every day in his hip and his back. So he wanted to try the patches. So I looked at our website, the Live Younger, and saw all these results and said, well, I don't have anything wrong with me except for I'm getting old, right? So I was kind of inspired by the pictures. So I took pictures right away. And the things I noticed, it was like the second month I was really noticing my endurance. I was able to climb a mountain and climb stairs and things just so easily. And I was feeling great about that. And then right before the second month, I took pictures of my face in exactly the same place I had before. And I was so excited because I could see it in my eyes. I could see it in my jowls. I could see it in my neck. There was a visible difference. And I'm thinking 2 months, like what in the heck is going to happen in a year? So definitely I plan to use this patch forever. And very grateful to find it because I love energy medicine.
And weren't you introduced by Michelle?
I was, yeah. I was at a conference with Michelle. She was the one that put a patch on my husband because she said, do you have any pain today? And I said, no, but my husband always has pain. Let me go get him. And that's how he tried his first patch. And the next day he was wanting me to contact Michelle.
So that's a great key. You know, it's all like person to person, heart to heart, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the
absolutely.
Good part about what you did was you took a before picture.
Oh yeah, definitely take the before picture because I would not have expected that to happen, honestly. And when it did, it was so exciting. And you know, it's visible. So I can show my friends, I can show anybody I want to what it did to my skin, which is just one of the things. If it's doing that to my skin, I know that it's doing something good to all of my body.
And that's another key, is that we don't always notice what's going on kind of behind the scenes with our X39, but it goes to work instantly on where it's needed most. And that also seems unfathomable to people, but it's the case. All they have to do is do their study of our research, and then,
Right.
then they'll know this is all about science. Well, thank you so much, Glenda.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Alrighty, well, okay, you guys in the peanut gallery, are you gonna raise your hands and tell me some stories? This is what it's about, you know? Do you want me to start singing? Come on. Do you want me to tell you my smeller story? Oh, good. Saved by Perry. Go for it, Perry. Tell us a story.
Well, I'm 86 years old, and I was in church one morning. They put new asphalt down, and I tripped and went down like a one-egg pudding.
Ouch.
Bounced my head off the concrete, busted my knee, hit my shoulder.
Oops, can't hear you. Come a little closer.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm 86 years old and going
Yeah.
to church one morning. I tripped on the asphalt
yeah,
and went down like a one-egg pudding. I mean,
yeah.
every part of my body hit the asphalt. My head bounced off of it right on the corner.
Ouch.
When I sat up, I had a knot above my eye. I was going to a wedding in 5 days, and I'm thinking black eye.
Oh,
I went home and I put a patch on my eye right there on the knot. It was gone in seconds, just gone. I had a gray streak here, and by the time of the wedding, it was turned yellow. And I never got a black eye, and nobody even noticed it for 2 days. I drove 300 miles down there. I had busted my knee, and I ended up with 2 tiny scabs by the time I left, and no pain. Yay, patches.
and at such a young age. I mean, these things, you know, this is supposed to be for the little tiny toddlers that we get better so fast. But look at, you're a seasoned human being, and look how fast you recovered.
Yes, and Janet kept saying, and you didn't break anything. You're 86 and no bones break.
That too. Well, isn't that fabulous? Thank you so much, Perry. Okay. Who do we have up next? How about, I think I saw John Ward first. Go for it, John.
Hey, Sunshower.
Morning.
So I haven't been on here for a while, but my story has never wavered. And I knew when I started X39 in June of 2019, after about 6 months or so, I knew my eyesight was changing. And I didn't know how. It was changing for the better. And then in 20, the X49 came out, so I added that. So I have to include it because last year in June, I moved to Nashville, had to go get a driver's license, couldn't pass the eye test because I have monovision, their machines don't work for it. Had to go get an eye test from an eye doctor, and lo and behold, my eyesight is 2015 in both eyes, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
pretty
that is like fighter pilot eyesight. And I can see farther when I'm driving. I can see farther ahead. There's so much that's different. So I can't tell you how long it took, but do not stop wearing these because things happen. And I was one of those people that didn't have anything wrong with them. But
Yeah.
I know. So
That's a
it
good
was
point. If you're
Yeah.
really healthy, it's like, well, why am I wearing these things? I have a friend who's 80, and she's been wearing the patches a couple of years, and she wonders why. But then she went to a family reunion, and all these people around her age couldn't get up and do the thing. And she's like, well, I'll go get it. I'll go do it. They're like, how come you're so young and fit? Well, I wonder why. Thanks so much, John. Okay, Michelle Niels. Hello, hostess friend.
Hi, Sunshower. I'm following the fighter pilot. Hey, John, good to hear your voice.
Yeah.
So good for you on the vision. Wow. There's a couple quickies I want to share. I've shared many of my stories, just like your smeller story, Sunshower. I could repeat that, and I've shared a few, but there's one I haven't shared in a while. Happened early on in the use of X39. I was out hiking. I had the patch on the back of my neck where I always have it, and unfortunately, I didn't bring a little first aid kit. Let that be a word to the wise. You know, always, as Robin says, always have a few extras on you. But I twisted my ankle pretty bad. It hurt like, 8 out of 10 pain, and it was really hard to put weight on it. So I just took the X39 off of the back of my neck and put it on my ankle, and I gave myself a little Reiki, as I do different kinds of energy healing work, and spent a few minutes on that, and started hobbling. I had about maybe a half a mile to get to my car. Fortunately, it wasn't too far. And I was able to, because at first I could not put any weight on my foot.
Mhm.
So just the X39 removed from the back of the neck, put on the ankle. I was able to get out, putting a small amount of weight. I got home, I iced it, of course, and I put Ice Wave on it. I saw my chiropractor the next day. He adjusted it, and the next day I was out dancing. So and I love dancing. And Glenda, I just want to comment, my dear, you are absolutely gorgeous, and definitely keep taking those pictures. We're getting younger together, everybody. Yay. Thanks,
I'm
Sunshine.
with you, Michelle. Love dancing. I love getting out there and these 20 and 30-year-olds, and they look at me and I'm going way down and coming way back up. And they're like, wait, what? I even say that to myself. Wait, what? Yeah, I have to agree with you about Glenda. You're just radiant today. Yeah. Okay. How about Victoria? Thanks so much, Michelle. Hi.
Hi, everyone. So I do have a lot of patch stories, and I don't know if you were on the call last night, but I shared my most recent with someone that is a massage therapist. I gave her 3 patches to try, and X39, and so because she was having some type of issues on her hands, they were hurting. And then yesterday, we were talking, and she said that her jaw had locked. And so,
Oh,
of course, she went to the dentist, and he gave her muscle relaxers. And she's really not into, like that type of medicine. But sometimes, of course, it works, and you have to use it. And so she went and she got her muscle relaxers. And she said that she had been able to, like 2
Morning.
days with them, she had been able to open up her jaw a little bit, but then she remembered that I gave her the patches, and so she took one of them and she said, let's see what this does, and she put it on her jaw. She said 2 hours later, and she showed me because we saw each other yesterday, she was able to open her mouth and her jaw was totally relaxed. So I was so excited, and of course she's going to start using the patches.
well, it's part of it is being cognizant that we are in charge of our own bodies and we get to choose. So the fact that she even thought to put on the patch is fabulous. Good for her. She's on a good track already. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Victoria.
thank you.
Yes. Okay, let's see. It's 8:15. We can even talk about other patches now. Who wants to go next? Come on, let's see those hands go up, or I'll tell my smeller story. Oh, saved by Allie. Go for it, Allie.
Hi, I'm not on my usual computer. With the patches, and I use X39 and 49 every day, and often I'm using the SP6. My hair always grew fast, but with the patches, my hair, my fingernails, my toenails, it's like hard to keep up with how often I have to cut them. And on the story of my toenails, it's probably been more than 25 years. I was up in the mountains in a cabin and managed to pick up a thing that gets on your toenails that makes them too thick to cut. And a few days ago, I cut my toenails like they were normal.
Oh, Now that's a new one. I hadn't heard that before. Thank you so much, Ally. I love how you post at our Live Younger Facebook page too. That's a good one for you to post. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ally. You know, here it is Monday morning and there's what, 109 people on our call. Wonder why. This is so fabulous. What a miracle. We're all here together and hearing about these miracle stories. And the next person would be Anne Moreau.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
So I wanted to share two stories. One is my mother, who's 94 years old, and she's lost her vision, and so she doesn't see where she's going, and she crashed into a door, and she had a huge black eye. So I patched her with the X39 right on the eye. It was the whole eye was black and blue. And I came back the next day and just 24 hours later, and it looked better already. It was kind of turning that greenish yellow, how it gets greenish yellow. And then yesterday I went over and barely showed just that one little dark blue spot. So today, I'm sure when I go over that, and I will have to share the pictures, and I'm sure that it'll be even better today. But it's amazing. You know, 94, you don't heal well, and your skin is very thin. And to be able to watch this heal as well as it did, it's simply amazing. So that's one of the stories. The other story is, you know, a lot of people are, you know, they're not like sure about this technology. They don't know how it works. You know, is it voodoo? We hear that all the time, right?
Yeah.
And there was a gentleman that I went over to see yesterday, and he's been patching for a few days, and he said, I didn't really notice a whole lot. And so he's in the kitchen telling me that he had gone golfing and he was hurting on the side of his body. And I said, where's it hurting? So I put the E on right on that area, and we continued talking. And a few minutes later, he goes, well, it's gone. The pain is gone. Well, I don't know about this. He said, it can't be this patch.
No, it couldn't be.
So it's amazing how quickly it can work, and how, you know, it just, you know, it's hard to believe because it's such a different technology, and most people don't study quantum physics, so we don't understand, right? So those are my two stories today. Thank you.
I just love it. Thank you so much, Anne. And since I mentioned there was 109 or 8 people, now there's 112. So come on, what's going on? Oh, and another person just entered our waiting room. Well, guess who's going to speak next? My very sponsor, homeopath, Jana Shiloh, friend since 1987. Hi, Jana.
Hi. I just thought I would share also a story I had that's so amazing from the past. This woman was brought to me by her husband. She had one of those things that affect your brain and you become paralyzed on one side of your body. And it had been so bad that she couldn't walk or talk. They had to teach her how to do that all over again. That was 2 years prior. And I said, well, what doesn't work for you? And she said, well, I can't write. And I would be so happy if I could just sign my name. And so I thought, all right, well, so let's try something while we're chatting here. And some people may not be, some of the newer people may not be aware of the HAT protocol. And I put 4 of the energy patches on in a particular way. And then I just put everything else on top. I put the X39 and the E and the glutathione on the top of the hat, inside the hat, because the patches radiate in both directions for those who are unaware of that. And so we talked for another 10 minutes and I said, well, it's a little early here, but let's just see how you're doing. And I gave her a pen and some paper, and she wrote her name for the first time in 2 years. So, that was 10 minutes with our wonderful technology.
10 minutes with the HAT protocol, which you can find if you go to liveyoungerproducts.com. You can find it under patches. Just keep looking, you'll find it. Thank you so much, Jana, and thank you for introducing me to LifeWave. I sure wouldn't be here right now hosting you lovely people without you having mentioned this to me. So thank you. Blessings to you.
Yes. So happy to have you aboard.
So Victoria, is your hand up again?
Yes, it is. Because I have another fascinating story that I meant to tell, and then I remembered my best like success I've had ever with Ice Wave was we were patching at a spa. We did a patching party and to help people with pain. And there was someone who had an injury and was in chronic back pain all his life. He fell when he was 7 years old, and this man was 53. So I started patching him, and I did the clock method, and so the second time I moved the patch, he said, "There." And I said, "So from 1 to 10, how is it now?" He said, "I don't feel anything." Anything. I mean, this is an injury that had not been going on for all his life. And it was instant. So I thought that was fascinating, and I had to share it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, something that plagues you that many years, you think it's never, ever going to get better. And when it does, it's like you almost can't believe it. It's almost too good
Yeah.
to be true. And again, about the Ice Wave, in case there's somebody brand new on our call, that's a 2-patch system. And so Victoria was talking about the clock method, and you can find that on Live Younger Products too, how we could put the 2 patches this way and this way, or actually front and back of a person. It can also be a clock method. You'll see, just have to go check it out. Thank you so much, Victoria. That was great.
Thank you.
And Gary Wagner, please.
Good morning. You're
Morning.
doing a beautiful job as usual in your approachable, loving style. Love it. So my main one would be my experiences. I've been on almost 3 years. In January, it'll be 3 years that I've been enjoying the patches. And immediately from, it probably sounds like a broken record to some, but I had the experience of a severe childhood trauma with all of the physical manifestations and the emotional manifestations and all the hard work to move past that. But I felt I was like the one patch wonder because I felt immediate results within 10, 15 minutes and then ongoing since then. So I haven't been on as much recently because I've been moving and then doing a temporary job. So moving like 3 other times for temporary locations. So crazy madness, but I would not have been able to handle all this and be able to have the sense of peace and strength. Of course, our faith is number one, but then or whatever belief system, but then I just can't, I'm so grateful for the effect that it's had on my life and for the core strength that it's given me emotionally and for being able to open up new areas of my brain and to cope with all this stress and all this madness as of late. So that's my main one. Also, I don't know,
Gary, was that X39 you were speaking of?
I started out on Eon,
Okay.
but then X39, yeah, I went from Eon to X39, and just incredible the difference. Yeah, I mean, Eon was really good, but X39 is just the bomb diggity, incredible. So the other thing I want to do is, I don't know if you can see I didn't practice the lighting, but my beard is coming in brown. Can you guys see that?
Oh yeah, sure can.
It's always been silver. And now bigger and bigger areas of brown. So that shows my body's healing. And I would show the back of my neck, but I can't do that. But anyhow, also I had those blue veins on the inside of my inner knee. And so in 6 weeks, I was exercising one day and doing sit-ups. And I said, oh my goodness, those blue veins are gone. So I could go on and on and on, but I just wanted to share those few things. Hope that inspires somebody and helps somebody.
Of course, very inspiring. Did you happen to take pictures of the vein area?
I did, but my phone, it's buried. I'm such a picture file that I would have to really search to find them.
Well, cool. Well, great stories. I mean, boom, boom, boom. You know, how many do we have, really? I have a bunch too. Thank you so much, Gary.
And I love your smeller story.
Oh, thanks. You can tell it. I know I've said it so many times.
Thank you.
about 4 minutes left, so a couple more. Lynn?
Yes, hello everyone. I just want to say how grateful I am that I'm starting to feel so much better. I've been using the SP6 for about 4 weeks now with the X39, with the X49 and the Aeon at night, and I'm just starting to feel I can do things now and not have the pain I was having. It was very rare for me to have a shower or wash my hair because of an injury in my right arm where I've got a plate and 12 screws. And I'm finding I can do that now, and it's just almost making me emotional thinking about it.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
just incredible. So I just want to say how delighted I am that, you know, things are working. Thank you.
Oh, that's so good, Lynn. Lynn, where do you live?
I live in England.
Oh, will you be coming to conference?
Well, if I win the lottery, yes.
So
Yeah, I also want to mention that I've been through a lot while I'm doing this, because the emotions that I have had to deal with over the years and the trauma were coming out in places, and I could relate to that because I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. And I'm just clearing, and I'm just so grateful. So yes, one day it would be nice to join you in something. Yes.
Well, of course, it'll happen. Just see it happening.
Yes, yes, I do. I do a lot of visualization. So thank you. Yeah.
So just like yourself and like Gary, there is interestingly emotional improvement too.
Yes.
We talk about
Yeah.
mental clarity mostly, but especially if one has a belief in what they're doing with these patches, they seem to work even better.
Yes, positivity goes a long way, doesn't it? So
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, we love our skeptics, but hey, once they understand, they have their own experience and their belief system is in place, well, suddenly they have a more positive attitude, and maybe they even share this with other people.
yes, yes. I'm doing it, but you know, people are a bit sort of fearful. So I keep mentioning it to people as I go along. So hopefully, you know, I'm
Yeah.
sending a link to them. So I'm doing my bit with that as well at the
Yeah,
moment.
and that's a key. Just stay positive and be enthusiastic about your own results, and maybe even talk about other results that you've heard on these calls.
Yes.
You know, and then invite them to this call.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Easy peasy.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we have
Bye.
like 2 more minutes. Would anybody else like to continue? No hands up. Is there anybody here? Well, I can't see everybody, but I was going to ask if anybody had not heard my smeller story. Oh, goody, Allie to the rescue.
I don't know how many people have heard my story. I had brain surgery, quite a while ago, and the tumor took with it, the surgeon got some nerves that left my face half paralyzed. So I couldn't speak clearly. Swallowing's still a bit of a challenge, but I couldn't control my tongue, and it was hard to breathe because the side of my face wasn't working. And I joined LifeWave just before the X49 came out. So X39 had gotten rid of numbness in my fingers and toes, but with X49, it was like 2 weeks, and I have my face back, control of my face back.
And we are so happy for you. What a blessing. Thank you so much, Allie. Okay, we can take one more and then we will wrap it up. CJ, please.
Good morning, Sunshower. So I see many clients in my practice, but I want to tell you about one young lady. Her daughter sent her to me. She has several medical issues in her body, but one thing she first mentioned when we sat down to talk about LifeWave is that she had a tremor in her right hand, and she had beautiful handwriting, and she no longer did because of this tremor, and no diagnoses that she had from any doctors. Well, anyhow, so she ordered with the X39. She started there, and I said, we're just going to pray over the patch. We're going to go forward here. We're going to see what we can do first with the X39 to help your body. That first day and that first patch on the back of her neck of X39 stopped her tremor. So she couldn't believe it. But fast forward from there, she had to go in for blood work. And about 2 weeks of being on the X39 patch, she went in for blood work, and she didn't realize this until they had to take her blood. Normally they had to go through her hand because her veins were just not very good in her arm. But that day they looked at her and they were like, no, we can use your arm. So they took blood work out of her arm. And then she realized that her veins looked different on her hand and her arm. So some small things, but some huge things for her. And she just is continually progressing with many of the other patches that she's using. She fell one day. She hurt herself really bad. She came into me. We, left side of her face, left side of her chest. We used X39, which rapidly helped to heal up the bruising on the side of her face. And then we did Ice Wave on the side of her chest where she hit really hard on the ground. And I did the clock method with that for her. And in, a couple of minutes of moving it around, she was like, can it work this fast, CJ? And I said, it can if we place the patches properly. And a few minutes of moving that patch with the Ice Wave, pain was like down from an 8, 9 to a 2. So amazing stories. Love our technology. Thank you for letting me talk about her.
Thank you so much, CJ. And, next week, I'm hoping that my friend Stuart will come on. He said he could come on next week. And he has a similar story about the tremors. I mean, it's so fast. It's like, what? How can this be? I've had this issue for so many years. Let's see, do we have time for one more? Just one more. Pam, can you talk in about 30 seconds, please? Unmute. Come on, Pam.
Goodness.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, your bandwidth isn't so good.
Can you hear me?
Well. Not very well. No, can't hear you. I'm sorry. Pam.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now you
Hello.
got 29 seconds. Go for it. No.
Okay, it's just a quick testimony about my
Okay.
dog fell in the yard in a hole. She could not walk with her back legs. We didn't know about the patches. Started with CBD. Once I got her on the patches, she wears 30. She runs, plays, does everything. The only thing she doesn't do is jump up on my very high bed, but she can do everything. I'm great.
I'm so glad that you brought up the furry friends because
Many more, but that one I thought is a good animal testimony.
fabulous. Thank you for that. It was
Yes,
a
okay.
good addition right at the very end. And so
All
thank
right.
you for everybody for being here. It's so cool. We've had over 100 people here on our miracle call. It was just so fun to hear these stories and to actually put the use of these patches into practice and tell others. It's kind of our responsibility to do so, don't you think? So tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time will be our community updates. And because Robin and Gregory are floating around somewhere around Greece on some fabulous ship for our 20th anniversary, meaning LifeWave's 20th anniversary, we are going to have a message from them. You don't want to miss this because, they're doing it for us, even though they're away. They love us so much. And I love all you. I hope you love all us. So have a great week. And hope to see you tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time on liveyoungerzoom.com. Bye. Thank
you, Sunshine. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Synergy.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful program.
Call. Thanks, Sunshine.
Glad you got on.
Thank
there.
you, Sunshine. Thank you. Great call.
Bye-bye.
Great job, Sunshine.